Hi, this is Jason Mott, closer for the 2011 St. Louis Cardinals, and you're listening to WICR.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first edition of the AM Sports with Sachs, Madeo, and Edwards. This is Ian Sachs talking, and I'm joined by Armand Madeo and Sean Edwards. Hello, fellas.
How you doing today, Ian?
How you doing, Ian?
Good. I'm ready to talk some sports. All right, let's go. First up, we have the Super Bowl this weekend. What are your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Well, in terms of the Super Bowl, we have an interesting matchup here, obviously with the best defense versus the best offense. And, for some keys for the Broncos, they're obviously going to need to, in order to win the Super Bowl, basically keep the lead and don't sag off. Keep a strong lead, control the lead throughout the game. As you can recall, they did blow a 24-point lead in the fourth quarter against the Patriots, I believe. So, and on top of that, Peyton Manning's not been too successful in this sort of climate. We know cold weather is not really his preferred environment of play. And also keeping the Seahawks guessing in terms of confusing them with audible calls will definitely be an asset to them.
Yeah, that's a good point. The audibles are definitely going to play a factor. With it not being in Seattle, you don't have to worry about the 12th man, which is a big plus for the Seahawks at home. They're not going to have that here. So, Armand, what do the Broncos have to do to win?
I think the Broncos need to control the turnover differential. Peyton Manning is going against one of the best secondaries in football, if not the best.
And they have a lot of ball hawk defenders, especially in Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor, Earl Thomas, Brandon Browner. All these guys are going to be playing in the backfield, and they're going to be looking at Payne's eyes and everything. And I think that if the offensive line can hold, this team this should be a blowout. It honestly should. There's more experience with the Broncos. Peyton Manning's been in this situation before. The Seahawks are a new team when it comes to being this successful. And if the offensive line holds and Payne's not being rushed in the pocket from the outside ends of Cliff Averill and Bruce Irvin, they should be all right. No, Sean Moreno needs to show up. He needs to be that X factor that he was the whole regular season. He had the best regular season of his career. If he can be a role player in all this, I think the Broncos should come out on top.
Okay. But what are going to be the weaknesses for the Broncos?
The weaknesses is if Payne will not turn over the ball. And they need to play their run and gun football. Don't live in, don't give up, keep going at them. I mean, Payne's really good at controlling the clock. So, I mean, what do you think about all this?
I think that the way that the Broncos have to win is if they put up points. Mm-hmm. Because the Seahawks offense, no way can they keep up with the Broncos offense.
Yes.
The Broncos can outgun anybody in the NFL. But losses if they lose, I think it's going to be if they decide to change the way that they play. Last year in the playoffs, when they lost to the Ravens, instead of going all out with Peyton Manning, they decided to play conservative and run the ball. And what did they do after that game? They went home, and the Ravens went on to win the Super Bowl. So you got to let the ball be in the hands of the best quarterback in the NFL. All right, Sean, looking at you now. What is it going to take for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl?
Well, for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl, I think one very key aspect of that for them, obviously to take the W, would be clock management. I feel like they play a very conservative style of football, and clock management is something that they're definitely going to have to emphasize. They're going to have to take care of the ball and just play to their identity, play to their style, and also just make sure that certain role players kind of, step up in terms of the spotlight. Like Russell Wilson, for example, stepping up and exposing, this mediocre defense in the Broncos.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson needs to he needs to step up because this Bronco defense has been horrible the whole season. They played a 51-48 game against the Cowboys. Like, if Russell Wilson should definitely step up. Marshawn Lynch, he needs to enter into beast mode. I mean, he can run all over this Bronco defense, especially is Von Miller playing the game?
No.
He's not playing, right? So this game should be no question. They should just run and pound with Marshawn Lynch, and they should find the end zone a couple times. They need to play a defensive-minded football game. They need to win this game like 20-17. They can't go in there going shot for shot with Peyton Manning because it's not going to happen. The Seahawks don't play like that. They need to play like they do, and that's from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah, and you mentioned their running game. The running game is going to
it's vital.
Is going to control the clock and keep Peyton Manning on the sideline. And that's the best way to beat him because really, any defense that you throw at him, even if you say, hey, we're going to run a cover 2, he's going to say, okay, I'll find a way to beat you with that. So whatever defense you throw at him, he's going to find a way to beat it.
Like, I think the Seahawks need to dial up a couple of blitz packages. Peyton Manning's too comfortable in the pocket. Every game I see him play, he's way too comfortable. He's so calm and composed in the pocket. And teams need to rush him. They need to get in his head. And it's really hard to do because Payne, he'll second-guess everyone. Like, he knows what's coming. He watches. He devotes many hours into film each and every day. So, I mean, I would play coverage. Because when the Broncos, if you notice a lot of play formations on offense, they'll have the two farthest receivers, which are usually Decker and Thomas. They'll cross and they'll put like a little pick package, and the two corners on the outside will get like bounced off, and in the flats on the other side of the field, Peyton Manning has two guys wide open, and he can dump it off to either one. And I think if you play a zone, I mean, there's no way stopping this man, but it could help. It could help.
Yeah, but then you're going to have Wes Welker find a little slot in there, and Manning will dump it off not even 5 yards outside of the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
And then Welker will end up 25, 30 yards with a pickup there, and then it's like, we played great defense. Well, but you still gave up 25, 30 yards.
Yeah.
So the Broncos just have too many weapons to be stopped.
And the only other problem with the zone, if you don't blitz with the zone, if there's no pressure by the front four guys on the line, the zone will be ripped apart because if you give him like 8 seconds in the pocket or anything from over 5 seconds in the pocket, he'll find the open guy because the zone is just to throw off the quarterback. It's not to be a permanent thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So man would be better in that situation, but the front four guys are key. The defensive guys, Bruce Irvin, Cliff Averill, the two nose tackles, they need to get in there and they need to stop Peyton. That's the key of this game.
Yeah, but I think the biggest key for the Seahawks is going to be keeping Manning on the sideline.
Yes,
because
clock management, and they're good at that. Pete Carroll's really good at that.
Yeah. The game that they play with a good running attack that controls the clock, slows the game down. There's less possessions for each team, and when each team has less possessions, then that's less opportunities to score.
So what are your guys' final predictions of this game? What's your score?
Okay, I'm going with the Broncos, giving Peyton Manning his second ring. I'm going Broncos 27-21.
Close game, huh? All right. Sean?
Well, I'm going to follow by the traditional motto that defense wins games. So with that being said, I will side with Seattle. Also, putting into consideration Peyton Manning's, past appearances in the Super Bowl in terms of his performance. He hasn't put up Peyton Manning-like numbers. So
yeah, he's 1 for 1. I mean, he's 500, but he could do better. He should have beat the Saints.
All right, so what's your prediction?
My prediction is Broncos 24, Seahawks 13. I want the Seahawks to win this game. I love Pete Carroll, but I don't see Peyton. Peyton's having an awesome year. He has not been stopped any game this year. They've just been overpowering everybody. I don't see him losing the Super Bowl. I don't see it.
All right.
It's impossible.
All right.
You have a better chance to win the lottery.
We'll see what happens. That's this Sunday, the Super Bowl. And that's going to wrap up our segment number 1. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be right back with another football segment. That one will be on the Pro Bowl. Stick around.
It seems that one